Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the CLP Cinema Lounge Presents. And today, Marshall will be telling us the harrowing story of passing a kidney stone. That's right.
Oh.
Soon to be a major motion film and children's book, Marshall and the Stone.
Yes. And additionally, we're going to be talking about Tetris, the new film directed by John S. Baird, who also did recently Stan and Ollie, starring Taron Egerton. And we're going to tell you what we think about it, if we think it's good or if we think it's terrible.
Should you spend $5 on Apple TV?
And then cancel it, or just make a free subscription and then cancel it?
We'll talk about that.
And in this episode,
presenting the Cinema Lounge.
Presenting Cinema Lounge.
Go. That was nice.
It was a perfect introduction, Ben.
It was good. It was everything it needed to be.
I wasn't expecting you to come in with the start, but I really thought it was nice.
Well, there was silence, and you looked at me, and I did it.
It wasn't a lot of silence. I think it was still... I don't know if it was recording at the beginning, but if it was, I'll put that right here. And from my recollection, I remember saying, okay, this is a CLP, so we have to do an intro. And you immediately went, okay, welcome everyone to the
Were you not
Lounge.
Recording that?
No, I was.
Oh. Yeah, I was prepared. I was ready.
All right.
It was divine inspiration.
Divine.
So Marshall, were you willing to talk about your medical history on the episode today, or
we could? We got like 30 minutes.
You know, let's save that one a juicy
lounge
story for the end of the episode. We
can save it for next week when we got more time.
But there needs to be a tease. I want there to be a tease. There was clickbait at the beginning, and now we're going to make you listen to our thoughts on Tetris.
But now you will know that next week that you get to hear the story of the Stone.
Okay, yeah.
Romancing the Stone is the movie that we're going to talk about.
Can we?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
We need to talk.
It has to be something we love.
Yeah, we have to be something that we love.
But I love the story of you having a kidney stone.
Yes. So
something stone related, perhaps.
Yeah, we'll get Sean Hayes in here and we'll do an episode of Hypochondriactor.
Okay, I'm gonna put my mic down for a second and talk about. I'm gonna just Google stone related movies. If you want to start talking about Tetris.
Okay. Welcome everyone to this Cinema Lounge Presents, the official podcast of the Great Scub Do, the YouTube channel we never touch. I'm Marshall, and with me today, as always, is
Ben Herbal.
Ben Herbal back again after a little short absence. We had Danny on last week doing Seven Samurai. I think he did a pretty good job, Ben. I don't know if you listened to that one. It was a fun episode.
I haven't yet, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping he comes back again to talk more movies.
I'm sure that he will. But yeah, this week we are talking on Presents about Tetris. Came out this year, 2023, starring Taron Egerton. Cinematography, Alwyn H. Kuchler. The score is by Lauren Balfe, who's great. He's done a lot of stuff. He's done, most notably, probably Pirates of the Caribbean. You would recognize his work. He did the first Pirates and all the themes and stuff, and then Hans Zimmer came in later, I believe. I might be totally wrong. The script is Noah Pink.
That is true. That's how the credit looks. It was kind of weird. Hans Zimmer was connected to the first one as well.
Okay.
Hans Zimmer came in and kind of finished it, but he was involved the entire time. It was kind of a weird situation.
Man just puts his name on stuff.
This guy was kind of an understudy for Hans Zimmer. Anyway, but he came in and revamped it for the second Pirates. Anyway, it's kind of a weird story.
Lauren Balfe has done a lot of stuff, though. You'd recognize if I had written down more stuff, a lot of the things that he'd done.
Cool.
I think he did Black Widow, which is not notable in any way, but for some reason that popped into my head.
For some reason, it's just impossible to quickly find those sorts of things on IMDb.
That's okay.
I have it pulled up.
Directed by, like I said, John S. Baird, who most well known at this point, but still kind of lesser known, did the movie Stan and Ollie a few years ago. Good movie about Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fun one. I saw it at the Ross. I enjoyed it. So, Tetris. Here's the description from IMDb. An enterprising game developer risks everything in a race to outmaneuver duplicitous insiders to negotiate a deal with Soviet Union bureaucrats for the international licensing rights to what would eventually become one of the most recognizable and widely played video games in history. So this is based on a true story.
Yep.
I did a little bit of research on how real it was, and it seems like for the most part it's pretty true to life, except for like parts that were obviously heightened. Like there's not a car chase that happened in real life like there is in the movie.
Right.
And we'll do non-spoilers for a while, but there, like, anytime it gets a little over the top, yeah, that was like further from reality than reality. But for the most part, pretty realistic.
I could see why you would see the story and be like, dang, that would make a good movie or series. Yeah,
it's a little crazy.
Really fascinating. Yeah, it's really crazy, really fascinating. Lots of interesting politics going on. And I think a view into, an interesting part of history, an interesting, I think the politics behind it within the gaming industry is interesting from a historical point of view.
Yeah, the idea of having to get console rights versus handheld rights versus arcade rights, and all of those being different depending on, like, I'm the person who not just distributes, I'm the one who makes this game in Japan, and I'm the person who makes this game for handheld in wherever. Like, the granular differences there are really interesting, and it makes me wonder how long that was the standard, because I remember even up to like the DS, like the DS version of a game being wildly different than a different console's version, or even like PS2 to the contemporary, like the Xbox, completely different versions of the same game.
I would love to dive into the history of this sometime, and I have a feeling there's probably fantastic books out there to recommend. Just don't have any of them. In fact, my review on Letterboxd for this movie said, one of the few times I wished there was a book instead of a movie.
I understand that.
There's so much interesting stuff here, but there was so much happening so fast, so many different things jumping thing to thing. I was like, I just really actually want to read a book about this. Like,
there wasn't enough time to get across. It is such a crazy, convoluted story that could only be real. But because of how specific and weird it is hard to get across in like just under 2 hours that this movie is. Yeah. And if they went longer, I think they would lose people. Right. Like, that's the tough thing, is I don't think that it's interesting enough to hold people for longer than that, but I don't know that long is enough to really consume what's really even happening here.
Yeah, and it's also tough because the story was, for me, the only thing keeping me there.
Yeah. Everything was really standard. Yeah. If we're talking about script, score, cinematography, performances, directing, visual effects, where it applies, there's probably visual effects. I don't know. I'm sure that they weren't actually in Moscow.
How about this? How about all the graphics cutscenes, the little 8-bit graphics?
I thought that was fun. And then there was one version of it. So what we're talking about is in the movie, it starts out and they do a ton of exposition via Taron Egerton's character, Hank something. What's his name? Roberts or something? Hank Rogers?
Hank Rogers. Henk.
Yeah, because he's Dutch. Yeah. Hank Rogers. And it's him basically explaining the whole first half of the story to his banker and trying to get a loan to be able to do all of this stuff with Tetris. I've been explaining how he was at CES, the Consumer Electronics convention, whatever, and he was trying to sell this crappy game that he had made, saw Tetris and was like, holy cow, I need to get on top of this. Got the rights to distribute Tetris in Japan, which is where he lives, which was confusing at first because he was at CES, which is in traditionally like South, California, Southern California, I think San Francisco generally. And then, so I was like, oh, so yeah, I mean, this makes sense. And then he was in Japan at Nintendo headquarters. Yeah. I was like, wait, I was a little confused about locations, but they would do a little, like, because it's moving so fast, they would do these little vignettes that were like 8-bit, 18-bit, 64-bit, whatever, video game pixel art things, like Indiana Jones travel by map type thing, except it's airplane in pixel art, and you would have like 8-bit music. And I thought it was really fun, actually. Like, for that really quick paced beginning and everything, I actually like it quite a bit. Where it kind of lost me was there was parts where it would just like, it was like they put the Adobe mosaic effect on and did a mask over the top of like a car or a building, and it just didn't look like pixel art at all. Just looked like weird, bad, like pixel mosaic, like literally a standard effect that I could do, that I have used on this show. Like, you've used some gestures at points that I've used this effect on.
Okay.
And it just looks weird and doesn't make sense. And also for what the movie is at that point didn't really make sense to me. Like, why are we doing this weird, like, this is taking me out of it and it doesn't really add anything. It just feels strange. And then they also stopped doing all of those inserts for the most part after like the first 30 minutes. And then it was just a really regular movie after that until it comes back at the end. And it's like, to me, when La La Land just suddenly forgets that it's a musical for the middle half of the movie, and then it remembers at the end, oh yeah, we should do a song again because this is a musical. Yeah. That felt weird to me. Otherwise, I thought that was really fun.
Yeah. It was kind of all over the place. Before we get into Spoilerville, I have a question.
Okay.
If someone doesn't already have Apple TV Plus or whatever the heck it's called, is that what it's called? Apple TV Plus?
Yes, it is actually.
Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Because the Apple TV is the casting device, is the streaming device. Apple TV Plus is the subscription service.
It's unnecessarily stupid.
Anywho, if someone doesn't already have that,
the app is just called TV, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Sweet.
Extra confusing.
Do you have TV?
So let me just install TV real quick.
Hey, well, honestly, it might make more sense than Max. Do you have Max? That's great. We don't need to get there.
Yeah.
But if someone doesn't already have it,
Apple TV Plus TV.
Correct. Apple TV Plus TV.
Streaming device, box, TV, digital device, app, computer device that I'm only able to get to work on my phone.
Yeah.
And for some reason, not on my laptop, which is also a Mac device.
Are you serious? That's weird.
The ecosystem has failed me. What's your question?
That's really
do you want me to finish your question? Because I know what it is. Or do you want to say your question?
Do people subscribe $5 to watch Tetris?
I don't know. I think if you that's a great answer to the question. All of that build up of yes or no, maybe.
Yeah.
You could.
Here's what I think. I think if you have it because you're watching Ted Lasso, then I don't even know if I would tell you to watch it.
Like, it's not bad.
If you're looking for it, this is for somebody who is out of all other content and is out of all other content.
That makes it sound like it's worse than it is. I would not put this at like this is not a bad movie.
No.
This is 1000% passable. And I would say this is a good movie. But that is all I would say.
Okay. I don't even know if I would say it. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was interesting, literally, to me at least. It was interesting only because of the historical story.
Yeah.
I mean, the writing was pretty bad. The acting was pretty fine.
Yeah, the acting was okay. It felt very bog standard, like biopic.
Sometimes it was bad.
Some people were rough. Which it's a weird thing where like it takes place in the 80s because that's a true story.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of things like Stranger Things have really made, like, look at how much I'm so tired of the whole, look, it's the 80s, look how fun and silly, and look at the weird goofy haircuts we had, and look at our bright clothing.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't do that, which I wrote here, like, I'm so happy that we're not doing this reveling in the 80s thing because I'm so tired of it and it's so trite and uninteresting to me. I don't care. This just felt like it looked like it was the 80s, but it didn't feel like they were trying to vomit like Van Halen at me. You know, it was just like, this is the era that it takes place in, and here we are. And part of that is because it's in the Soviet Union, where obviously it wasn't the same as it was in wherever Stranger Things takes place. Sure. But it still is not crazy over the top with that. And there were times where it felt like the acting was trying to lean into that like 80s thing. specifically with the son of the main guy,
the one that
the big
kept
boy.
getting pissed every time they kept calling him by his first name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that felt very John Hughes character. Like that felt like it was out of an 80s movie.
But every single time they did that bit, every single time I was like, oh, that bit again. Like,
it's like, okay.
I don't know. I think this movie just really lacked identity. Like it almost like was like they told all the actors to be really cheesy and campy with it, but then it like kind of tried to come off as a serious action thing sometimes, or like as a serious historical thing sometimes, but then also it was like silly, and then we put in like the weird 8-bit graphics, but then like some of the acting just didn't play out as campy as it felt more like it was just bad. I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I may have not liked this movie as much as you did. I don't know. I
don't know. I didn't love it. Like if I have to say yes or no, I'm a very, very tentative yeah.
Yeah.
But I would not say no to this.
No.
I don't think this is a bad movie. And I think it's unfair to call it a bad movie because I've seen bad movies.
Yeah. Sure.
This is not it.
Okay.
Like this I don't know. Like it's fine. Mm-hmm. Everything about it is fine. The script is fine. The cinematography is fine. You know, there was cameras and they got video on them.
Yeah.
The performances were fine.
Yeah.
Everyone was there and they did their performances and that was whatever.
Did you like the score?
That's the one thing that I was going to say.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Lorne Balfe and the way that he weaved the Tetris theme song into the score.
Me too. I think that might have been my favorite part.
I think that's so fun.
Yeah. The one pushback I have against it is that, like you said, with all the 80s nostalgia things recently, there's been a lot of 80s feel kind of scores, and it feels kind of like some of those. Like it doesn't necessarily stand out outside of the synthesizer heavy kind of scores that are supposed to make you feel like 80s nostalgia. But yeah, I did like the way they weaved the Tetris theme in. I think,
and then it doesn't fully come in until there's a scene at the end where it gets crazy. And then it's like the full-on klezmer clarinet all the way Russian theme song, which is really fun.
And it is like the Russian-y,
that's like, it's just, I feel like you have to do that because if anything about Tetris is well known by the public, you would recognize the song,
right? Because
that is like one of the more iconic. Like I would put it maybe number 2 to Mario Brothers. In just iconic video game theme songs of all time.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Especially for so much of the population.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I think it's interesting how musically interesting it is. Like, Super Mario is very, weirdly, if you look at it critically, kind of Latin-based in the way that it's constructed and everything. And I think the composer, I can't remember his name, has even talked about Latin dance music of the time as kind of like, or Latin jazz as the inspiration for the original Mario theme. And if you listen back to it and think about that in your head, you can really hear that. And the Tetris theme is very Russian. Like you can really feel like the Rasputin dance with the bottles on the head and everything. Bam ba da 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 da. Like it's so good. There's a version there's a group called the Video Game Orchestra or whatever.
I've heard
on
of them.
Spotify.
Yeah.
They do a version of it. I think it's them that does a version. I'll put a link in the description of the episode. That is so good. It's a full orchestral version, and they go full Russian with it. They get a klezmer clarinet that does a crazy solo.
Sweet.
And it just is genuinely so fun. And it's so good. Yeah. And it's really cool how like those old video game scores were really musically interesting. If you take any of those and then turn them into a full orchestration, they work as well as a modern score.
Sure.
The same group did stuff with like Super Mario World and the disparate themes in that, and it's so fun and it's so good. So I mean, if there's anything I'm enthusiastic about, it's the music. But unfortunately, this movie didn't make the music.
Right.
So I can't really give him points for that.
Lorne Balfe.
Yeah.
Has kind of gone off this year. While we're on the topic.
He's done a lot
recently.
of stuff.
Tetris.
Yep.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I do want to talk about on the show still, if we are able to.
Yeah. Black Adam. And more, also bigger thing more recently, Ticket to Paradise.
Oh, I want to watch that. That's on Prime. I want to watch that.
And Ambulance also more recently. Dude, I would love to talk about Ambulance on this. I loved Ambulance.
Are you kidding
Did you
me?
see it?
No.
We should watch it. It's awesome.
Okay, can we? If we're gonna do a live commentary for anything, I want it to be for a Michael Bay movie.
It is Michael Bay doing a Michael Bay movie.
Oh my!
It is awesome. You would on your TV, freaking right in front of you.
Yeah.
Huge. I saw it in theaters. I went in with such low expectations. It was awesome. I would like fully recommend it to everybody.
When I saw
this is my next time I get to pick a movie is Ambulance.
It seemed so ridiculous to me when I saw the trailer.
It is.
And it's like we're brothers for some reason or somehow. I don't know how that works exactly. And we're robbing this bank, and that's what the movie's about. And then the trailer gets a little further along, and it's like, no, actually one of us is hurt, and we're in this ambulance, and we're driving, and Isa Gonzalez is a paramedic in full makeup, and she's doing her job here, and she's like, you're not going to stop this ambulance because I have to take care of this man or whatever. And like, what do you, like, it's so, we can't stop the ambulance because we got to keep the ambulance going. This is Ambulance. I don't get it.
It's freaking awesome.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
This is the triple feature.
What?
We watch Ambulance.
Yes.
We watch Airplane.
Okay.
And then we watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, everything with the cover all of our bases.
I guess you need a train movie though to really. Then it's a quadruple feature.
Thomas the Train.
So you need isn't the Liam Neeson?
Train to Busan.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Are we only choosing? We're choosing 2 good movies then?
Ambulance and Train to Busan. Just kidding. I love Airplane. Fine.
Oh boy.
3 good movies.
I was talking. Oh no, I wasn't saying Airplane.
What? What did you say?
Did I say Airplane?
You said Airplane.
I didn't mean Airplane. I meant no. There's a Gerard Butler just did a movie called Plane.
What?
Yes, it's just called Plane.
Plane.
Like an airplane.
Oh no! Is
Yeah.
it just a classic Gerard Butler doing his one movie that he does?
I'm excited to watch it.
That's dope, I guess.
I think I was talking to Dan Rush, and he was talking about how he saw. Oh no, it was Michael Bear was talking about how the first time, or someone, he had not seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles before.
Okay.
And someone else in his family had seen it. They watched it on TV.
Okay.
And they're like, this movie's great. This is hilarious. I love this. So they go to like Thanksgiving dinner, and they're like, guys, this is a Thanksgiving movie. We should watch it together. The whole family.
Yeah.
Grandma, everybody, come and watch this movie. And then they, rent it or something. So it's, the full movie.
Sure. Not
the cut down for TV PG-13 version.
Right.
And Steve Martin goes up to the lady at there's a little more profanity and stuff than usual. You're like, oh, I guess this is a little weird. So this person's a little more uncomfortable. They're like, I introduced this to family. I don't know. And then, of course, Steve Martin goes to rent the car. And you get this iconic scene. And it's just like apparently abject terror on this person's face I've recommended this to everybody. Which is just delightful and hilarious to me. I cannot imagine watching the TV version and just watching Steve Martin walk up to this woman and then they cut. And now they're in a car. Yeah,
how did this work? Right.
It's very good. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. With subtitles with your family.
Subtitles?
Yeah, just so everyone is really clear.
Oh, yeah, of what words are being used.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So, Tetris.
Let's
see what notes I have here. I said the video game footage and cutaways could easily have been cheesy, but I enjoy them. And then they got to a point later I was like, nah, it's a little much now. Oh, I made sure to note that one of my favorite games of all time is not Tetris.
Why did you note that specifically?
Because it's a great game.
What?
Not Tetris.
Not Tetris? Is there an actual game called Not Tetris?
Yes, there is.
Oh! Haha, word games.
Would you like to know what it is?
Yes, please.
So Not Tetris is a game that I don't remember how I found it, but it's just like a Java game that you can download off the internet.
Not Tetris 2, Stab Yourself.
There's a sequel?
Yeah, dude.
Show it to me!
Oh my gosh.
It's just Tetris, except that the pieces don't flip at a right angle. They just continually move. Yeah, so it creates a jumble, and then you get a Tetris via. I've been saying via a lot.
The kidney stone.
When it gets enough,
you via
yeah, I guess. Urethra. When it builds up enough pressure, then it cuts instead of a regular Tetris.
That's funny.
And then you get like bits and pieces left over.
Perhaps not.
I've
Tetris
gotten really
2
good at it.
Is like the non-Flash version of it.
I don't know.
Not Tetris is a cross-platform game made with love.
I don't know.
Physics engine to Tetris gameplay. It was the first one. Was the first one the Flash thing? Because Flash is dead now. R.I.P.
I don't know. It's a game on my computer.
Windows, Linux, OS X. Interesting.
I don't know, but I love it, and it's one of my favorite games ever, and you should all look for it.
Okay.
General trivia. Earlier in the movie... Oh, should we say spoilers, by the way?
Oh, yeah, spoiler. People have to know at this point.
Yeah, I know, but spoilers. Because I got trivia here, I guess.
Okay.
Spoilers. It's good. The car chase scene doesn't happen in real life. I don't know if the KGB actually threatened Alexei's children. They did actually become really good friends in real life, which is really cool, and they co-run to this day the Tetris company.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's
really cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, wow.
Yeah. So do you want to know some trivia?
Yeah.
There's an interesting piece of trivia that you're gonna love.
Okay, go.
This is not that one.
Okay.
Early in the movie, Hank talks about when he sleeps, he can still see the Tetris pieces in his dreams.
Yeah.
This is actually a real phenomenon called the Tetris effect, also the name of a recent Tetris game. The term was coined by journalist Jeffrey Goldsmith in 1994 to describe when something that one focuses on for extended periods of time starts appearing in their thoughts, perceptions, and dreams. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know what the game has to do with that necessarily. The game was, I think, like a rhythm game almost, if I remember right, which would kind of lead to that of like these things coming at you and everything.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to leave that special one for last for you because it's very good.
Okay.
To prevent the project from being thought of as a kid's movie, an easy mistake to make, and like there was some like Sausage Party is the iconic thing of like it looks like it's a kid's movie and then you show up and these hot dogs are having sex with each other or something.
Right.
To prevent the project from being thought of as a kid's movie by being rated G or U. Be rated U for no material likely to offend or harm, the British equivalent of a G rating. Noah Pink intentionally added profanity to the script.
Nice.
That
is very
kind of funny. That's a clutch move.
Yeah.
Here's one extra one before the special one. The real-life Hank Rogers, now 61, is currently the managing director of the Tetris company, which he co-owns with Alexei Pajitnov. The company was founded in 1996 and handles all the Tetris rights. The real Rogers met with the movie director John S. Baird while the Tetris film was being made, and even attended the movie's premiere at the 2023 South by Southwest Film Festival in March. Do you want to know the kind of crazy?
Yeah, please do.
This is a historical thing, so you'll like this.
Okay.
Robert Maxwell, the entertainment tycoon in this movie, who you eventually find out is broke, and that's the reason that they haven't actually paid for these things and stuff like that.
Stealing money from his employees and taking out their pension.
Exactly, and like there's that scene where they're like shredding documents, and they're like, "We're just getting rid of old things."
Yeah,
like,
nothing to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, their accent was weird. Anyway, keep going.
Well, that's his accent.
British? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that guy's he's an iconic British voice.
You
fool. What? You'd recognize him if you saw him not in a big fat thing.
What is that? What? Huh?
That's just me calling you a fool for not recognizing
I thought you were
voice.
giving an example of his voice, like
an
iconic voice line.
You're a fool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's okay, Ben. I still love you. Just breathe.
Keep going.
Okay. Robert Maxwell is the father of 9 children, one of whom is Ghislaine Maxwell.
What?
Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of child sex trafficking in connection with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
They were like, the two people.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow. That adds up somehow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
What an insane wrinkle to add to all of this.
Yeah, what a weird connection. Huh. Well, that makes me reconsider everything. No, not really, though. It's just kind of crazy. Yeah, makes sense. Like, father like daughter. Kind of.
Yeah.
Little different.
Like Kevin like sister.
Yeah. What? So
that's the movie.
I didn't ever think we were talking about Jeffrey Epstein on the pod, and here we are.
Well, he's out there.
No?
So...
Don't. even.
What do you mean? He's listening.
Oh god.
He's a big fan of the show.
He better not be. I will if it turns out that he ever listened to an episode of the show.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I guess not. I would
I'm making this show for one audience.
Eric
Keel.
And if it just so happens to be that I can't even say his name. I can't even say
who.
J.E. Jeffrey Epstein.
What?
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I said it.
That's the movie, Ben.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
No.
Wow.
This is my experience.
I can feel it coming on.
Yeah, me too. Here's what I think you could do if you were interested in it. Go read the Wikipedia page. This movie, to me, felt like the Wikipedia page. It felt to me like they read the Wikipedia page and then they had ChatGPT turn it into a script.
Yeah.
Like, every single time it cuts to a different scene, it's like, whoa, why are we here? It's almost like you had a new heading in the Wikipedia entry. Like, oh, well, we have to include the part where he talks to this guy. Oh, we have to include the part where he talks to this guy. Like, jump. And I get that there's a lot of story, and it did literally take place in a lot of different locations. It just didn't work. It just wasn't working for me. And so it's a no. Which is sad because I like the story a lot.
Yeah.
I really like the story, and I think it was fun. I think the movie is pretty fun. I think it's pretty ridiculous. I saw the trailer, and I was like, haha, this looks like a really fun romp through the world of Tetris. And it just, like, it didn't have enough identity for me. It wasn't silly enough.
That's what I think it should have done.
It just should have been so ridiculous and silly. It should have been like the Weird Al movie. The Weird Al biopic where none of it was really what happened with Weird Al.
Which I still really want to see.
Yeah. If this then that, let's go see that and see if it fits.
Yeah.
I wish it was just...
If not, there's a fox in the backyard.
Oh my God. Look at that. Wow. Everyone says they're so cute. And that thing's kind of nasty.
Is it just sitting there?
No, it's sniffing.
Take a picture.
Okay. Oh,
if Laura listens to this and we didn't take a picture, take a better picture.
Only its butt is out, dude.
She'll like it.
I gotta go. Okay, Foxy. Okay, hey, come back. You think if I tap on the window, it'll come back and look at us?
Oof, I don't want Zazu to freak out if she sees that thing.
I can't get an angle. Oh, it's eating something. Oh my gosh, what's it eating?
Zazu's poop?
Hopefully. Oh, dandelions. That's weird. I didn't know they were omnivorous.
Well, Zazu eats some too.
Bye, Fox. I want to take a selfie. Bye. I mean, I guess it's kind of cute.
We'll post this on the Instagram on Wednesday.
Okay, should I get a video? Oh, it's trying to figure out how to... Oh my God, it climbed your fence.
Did it really?
Look at it. Bye.
I can't see it.
Oh, well, it just jumped up your 7-foot fence. 7 foot. It's not 7 foot.
No.
It's like 5 foot.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, that was cool.
That was a big guy.
Yeah, and maybe, girl, I'm not good at sexing foxes. What? It's the term. You got to figure it's to sex. To determine the sex of the fox.
Yeah. I would say, like I said earlier, an extremely tentative yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine. I think what they should have done is just take it more over the top, more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because there were some scenes in this that were kind of funny.
Yeah.
That if you just take it further, like it was really funny when the guy at Elorg kept going from room to room. They could have really played up, like they've got different guys in different rooms and he's playing both sides. Yeah. But he's not even really playing both sides. He's just like not giving either of them enough information to understand what's happening.
Right.
And that's very funny. If you play that up and you get comedic actors in there to do that, that could be hilarious.
Yeah.
The same thing like when they introduced the Game Boy to Hank.
Yeah.
That's a funny scene. Like it's kind of weird and goofy. Like the way that they framed that. I don't know if they actually have this like Zoolander room, you know, where like what is this, a center for ants? Like that's what that scene looks like to me.
Yes.
And it's like that they should play that stuff up.
Right.
Like this story is a little too inherently silly to make a very serious movie about it.
Yes, it's such an in-between. You can't do a Hidden Figures with it.
No.
It's not like an untold story that is serious, but it's also like a well-known enough product, a well-known enough IP that you also can't do like a Big Short with it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think like The Big Short handles more of that line between the comedy and the serious.
Well, it's thinking about one of the most famous products in intellectual properties, which is the recession of 2008.
Yes. But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, I don't know. It was weird.
I don't know. I think, like, what was I going to say, Ben? The interesting thing is that, like, if you really do think about it, this whole event with Tetris, in a way, like, they talk about it as, like, this is the end of the Soviet Union. And they play it as a joke, but if you think about it in historical context, that kind of holds up as reality.
Yeah, it fits into the greater narrative of the economy of the USSR and the economy of the West.
And, like, the whole... It's just interesting that you could have taken that angle, but they played that as a joke.
Yeah.
And they could have done this. And they don't do that quite as well. They do so many different things and they never fully commit to any one of these ideas.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's barely a yes for me and it's a no for you.
Yeah.
So speaking of that,
go ahead.
If this, then that. You've mentioned one of these things. The Big Short, I've not seen it, but it's one that I haven't seen any of the movies that I'm suggesting.
Yeah, go.
But I've heard that they're all quite good.
Okay.
The Big Short is one that I would suggest as like a true story of a thing, and you can see it's entertaining and funny and whatever.
Yeah, sure.
If you're hearing dog, it's because Zazu is in here as well. It's Bryce's dog.
Hello.
Bryce from episode whatever of Jurassic Park.
You want to come say something, doggy? Say something for the camera. Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Thank you, Zazie.
Okay.
The other one I would suggest is fresh and brand new is Air. The story of how they got Michael Jordan's shoes.
That would be very fun. I also haven't seen it yet. I would love to compare the two. It looks
really good.
I would love to compare the two.
It will also, like, if it's really successful, it'll change how movies are made, and I'm really excited about that.
Wow. I heard that it's like okay. It's like close to being really great.
Yeah. That's what I expect from it. But I hope that it makes money.
Yeah.
Because I want the model that it's using to be the model going forward.
Which is what?
So it's being made by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's company that they've just founded called Artist Equity, which essentially is there is a budget and it is set. And any amount that we go over is coming out of our pockets. Everybody's pockets.
Interesting.
So but at the same time, there's no overrun. So if you do really well, those profits go into everyone's pockets, including the crew, the gaffer, the guy who's putting tape, the second assistant AD, all of this different stuff.
Oh, nice.
And that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you get this major incentive to do your job really well.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go over. You want to make the best movie you can.
And for the next movie, you want to get recommended as somebody who works really hard.
Yes.
Like I want to end up on the big time movie next time.
Yeah. As opposed to, I'm here as long as the union says I am.
Yeah, right.
And sorry,
Yep.
That's what I think is cool.
Anyway.
And the last one, I don't think is out yet, is but I've heard is good. Blackberry. It's the story of the Blackberry, starring Glenn Howerton from
cool.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, cool.
Dennis.
Wow. That's fun. I was just talking to my students about Blackberries the other day because we watched a clip of the Obama White House from 2009.
And they were like, what are those?
No, well, I had to say, I said
that's what they said when they watched Air.
Everybody at the cabinet meeting was turning their phones in and they were like, someone ran off without their Blackberry. And I was like, paused it and said, do any of you remember Blackberries? Wow. What a pop culture status symbol that was.
It's so interesting. Yeah. And I mean, I think the movie kind of it digs into that idea of like marketing towards the idea of something being fancy and nice, which then artificially made it that way. The same way that like lobster used to be the thing that they gave to friggin' peasants because they had an abundance of it.
Yeah.
And then it only became a delicacy once they had to try to ship it into the inside of the United States.
That's funny.
And it's so hard to prepare them. That's why there would be lobster tanks. Is because the moment they're dead, you got to cook them.
Yeah.
So that it's this artificial kind of creating scarcity and stuff like that.
Right. Huh.
It's interesting to me. The way that like Facebook is like, we're only at universities, and then it became this exclusive club.
Right.
So I guess you could also kind of suggest the social network here. I don't think it would quite fit the feeling.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Sure.
Well, Ben, this has been the episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you for listening to the show. I hope you enjoyed it, Eric. And if you didn't, sorry. Leave me alone.
Sheesh. Tune in next time for the story about Marshall Stone.
Check out my stones. And we're going to talk about that next week, just like we talk about whatever movie we're going to talk about next week. We don't know what it's going to be.
Okay, I know it's not a stone, but I've been saying for a while we need to watch all of the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies, and he's a
I
rock.
swear you've said that 2 times. You said that last time as though you framed it like you had said it 100 times to me. And I swear you've never said it.
I think it's probably the 4th or 5th time.
You're so serious about this, and I cannot... I swear I've never had that conversation with you before in my life.
All right. Play back the episodes. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT if Ben Herbal has ever talked about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the thing. Why don't we? Hey, wait a sec. I'm sorry. I know we just closed up the episode here.
I don't want to ask ChatGPT what we should watch.
No. Listen to this. My freaking brother has an IMDb page now.
What?
Isn't that nuts?
Why?
Because he's a host of Hillversity Radio.
So am I.
You're what? No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
But anyway, so maybe that can be our new goal.
Get on IMDb.
One day we get on IMDb.
We gotta get our SAG cards and do like a commercial, and then we'll be on IMDb.
Perfect. All right.
I have a delivery on the way.
Follow us on our path to IMDb. Tune in next week for a movie.
The path to IMDb. Yeah, we'll watch something next week. Thanks everyone for listening. Check us out on the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at mparish_art on Instagram, at Cinema Lounge Pod on Instagram and Facebook. Find all this stuff. It's cool.
We're cool.
Discord. I posted in Discord this week, or last week, and this week. We were late. We didn't have an episode last week. Where did I post that, Ben?
I don't know. Discord?
On Instagram and on Discord.
Whoa.
That's right. If you wanted to know that and you were like, "Where's the episode?" Get on one of those things.
You want to freaking use a emoji of me?
Yeah.
Get on Discord.
Yeah, he's doing a pose.
There's a pose.
We're not going to tell you what it is until you get on there and find out.
That's right. It could be a really cool pose.
It could be a really cool pose.
If you know what I mean.
Could be a really boring one too.
Okay, I think we should be done.
Thanks everyone. I've been Marshall.
I've been Ben.